Hello and welcome to CEO Insights. I'm Marilyn de Guzman with Investing News Network. We are at PDAC in Toronto and we're chatting with Stephen Burega, President of Appia Rare Earths and Uranium Corp. Hello, Stephen.
Hi there. How are you doing today?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on board.
My pleasure.
First off, we can start. I know you have some news from your company that's coming out, but first, could you give us an overview about the company?
Sure.
And some,
So Appia is focused on rare earths, as you mentioned, and uranium. We have assets in northern Saskatchewan as well as in Ontario and Elliott Lake. But our primary focus is in northern Saskatchewan right now on an asset called Alces Lake. It's a rare earths, a light rare earths project. It's a monazite project. And we've been working on it for the past few years now, and we've had some extraordinary results. At surface, 80% monazite with high 30s percentage of rare earths is a rarity, very high grade. But we also have some significant low to medium grade assets as well within the structure and the zones, and we can maybe touch on that at a later point.
Yeah, so we will definitely touch on that, but I think we can start with some exciting news coming from your company. Tell us about that.
That's right. So today we announced that we have entered into a letter agreement with a private company in Brazil to acquire up to 70% of an ionic absorption clay, rare earths ionic absorption clay asset. It's a very exciting potential for us. It would make us one of very few companies in the world that have both heavy rare earths assets as well as light rare earth assets. And we'll have the next 90 days to do our due diligence, but we're very, very excited about the potential, and it's in the right location, very close to some near-term ionic clay production. So. Much more news to come on that front.
Yeah, that's exciting. So why Brazil?
Well, Brazil, there are very few places in the world actually where there are ionic clay assets. The majority of the ionic clay assets have been held and managed by China. And those that are outside of China have been owned by Chinese interests for the most part. So identifying an ionic clay asset of this type is of very strategic importance to the heavy rare earth side of the business. And we feel that Brazil is one of those few locations in the world that actually does have ionic clays as a known quantity. So we're excited by it, and we're very much looking forward to getting down to Brazil and finalizing our due diligence.
That sounds great. So we're actually going to be looking forward to more news about that. So now let's talk about your current project that's going on, that you have at Alces Lake.
At Alces Lake, yes.
How is that project going, and what are your plans for this summer for that?
Well, as your audience might know, we just put out some initial results from our 2022 program, and that first set of results came back on what's called the Wilson Zone and the AMP Zone, which are part of a larger area called the WRCB. And what this zone is that it has two components to it: a high-grade component as well as a low to medium-grade component. So what we've been able to do is we're able to track the AMP zone, which is this low to medium grade zone, which is quite thick, but we're tracking it from the WRCB through down to the Magnet Ridge zone and beyond. And we've identified a structural corridor that we're going to be working on this summer, and we'll be drilling and testing, and we're very excited by this. That structural corridor goes on for up to 25 kilometers. So if we're able to replicate and identify that this AMP zone does in fact connect all these major areas that we've already identified, it has great potential for us. So we're very excited, and it's going to be a great 2023 season.
That sounds good. So if you're talking to an investor right now who's looking at rare earths, because obviously it's one of the minerals that will be critical as we move forward towards decarbonization, global efforts towards electrification. What will you tell investors right now when they're looking at rare earths, why they should care about it and why they should look into it?
Well, rare earths is one of those components that, contrary to some recent news from certain personalities, play a major component in permanent magnets. There obviously will be the potential for new technologies down the road, but rare earths play a very significant role in that process of permanent magnet production. So if we are going to move forward towards the electrification, obviously the automotive industry is extremely interested in identifying strong long-term asset potential for rare earths. So I do believe that there's a very strong marketplace for this, and we're excited that we're very well positioned, and as of today, even more so with the announcement of our new our partnership in Brazil.
Right. So let's talk about that certain personality. So that you're referring to Elon Musk's announcement, Tesla's announcement that they're gonna not use rare earths for their next generation EV. Like, what are your thoughts on that, and how would that impact, or will it impact, the trajectory for rare earths?
Without getting, I don't necessarily understand the entirety of the comment, because I think it actually was a little bit too broad in nature. I think the specific components that I believe he was referring to actually doesn't necessarily reference the permanent magnets which we're referring to, and that we're talking about. Tesla is one company in a very big industry, and if Tesla wants to be the company moving forward and developing new technologies, I wish them all the best. I think that's wonderful. The reality is that rare earths are a very important component to this manufacturing process, not to mention the defense industry and others. So I think that there's a very strong future for potential rare earth assets, and we're excited to be part of it.
Yeah, because there are other applications for rare earths, right?
Of course,
other than just EV.
That's right.
Yeah.
There certainly is. So it's not going anywhere anytime soon. There's a very big need for it around the world, and we're hoping that Appia will be one of those companies being able to prove up assets and be a supplier one day.
Are you seeing more interest in rare earths now? Like, there's other, the battery metals, copper, lithium, that's getting a lot of interest. But are you seeing a lot of increased interest now in
without
rare
a question?
earths?
Yeah, without a question. We're here at PDAC, and there's been a lineup at our booth, sometimes 5 and 10 deep. So it feels like there's a very genuine appreciation for the rare earths sector within our industry, and these assets. And of course, Appia is very fortunate to be sitting on a very strong monazite story with high percentage of high grade as well as low to medium grade, light rare earths, and now the fact that we're entering into the heavy rare earth side of things through this ionic clay story. I think we're in a very good position to be able to bring value to our shareholder base.
And the monazite aspect, right? Like Saskatchewan is building a facility for that, right? Can you talk a bit more about that?
Yeah, the Saskatchewan Research Council is in the process of commissioning new technology, new IP, specifically geared to processing monazite. So currently, I believe SRC brings in all of their monazite from Brazil, actually. So I think they're very much interested in hearing a Saskatchewan-based story that might be able to provide that monazite for them. But the technology is spectacular. It's wonderful to see that it's a Canadian-made technology, IP from the start. And they've got a spectacular model that they're promoting in building out first the test plant, a bulk plant, and then looking at bringing this technology to the world. So I'm really impressed with SRC. I think they're exceptionally well positioned and could be a very, very strong partner for us.
Now, you also have other assets, right, aside from rare earth. Can you talk a bit more about that as well?
Sure, we have uranium assets, some in Saskatchewan, and then as well as Elliott Lake, Ontario. The Elliott Lake assets are both rare earth and uranium assets. It's a former producing mine, had a significant resource attached to it. And then as far as the Saskatchewan assets are concerned, they're grassroots, early exploration uranium assets along the sort of the Wollaston Lake area. And of course, everything was within the basin, but this would be on the western edge of it. And we're very excited to be looking at the uranium potential as well. I think uranium is going to play a huge role in the energy production model for the world in the future. So we're excited to be positioned on both sides. It's an exciting time for Appia.
Yeah, that's great too. As you mentioned, uranium is gaining momentum, I guess, with organizations or countries that are revisiting their nuclear energy position, strategy. Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So what does 2023 look like for the company?
So we have a very significant program this summer, starting probably early June. We have a drill program in place. We have a lot of exploration, continuing exploration work, geophysics to fly, groundwork to do, and drilling to complete. We're well positioned financially, so we've got the money in the bank to do the work that we need to get done, and it's going to be a very exciting 2023 for us, especially with the acquisition of this new asset in Brazil. it's going to be a busy one for us.
Sounds great, and would love to have you back again next time to give us more updates on that Brazil acquisition and certainly your summer program.
I'm looking forward to it. Thanks so much.
Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching, everyone. This has been CEO Insights. Stay tuned. Join us again next time for another engaging conversation.